Most animals don't date, they don't court, they don't ask. In the wild, reproduction is the only objective that matters. And some species pursue it in ways that are so violent, so strange, so biologically extreme, that scientists still can't fully explain them. This video counts down 20 animals whose mating rituals are among the most brutal ever documented. Some of these end in death, some end in total physical absorption, and a few of them involve the male deliberately ending his own life to reproduce more effectively. You'd think being the tallest animal on land would be enough. It's not. Male giraffes fight for the right to mate, and they use the one weapon they were born with, that 6-foot neck. Two males stand side by side and swing, not gently, with everything they have. Each one uses its own neck like a wrecking ball, driving its skull into the other animal's body over and over until one of them stops. These animals can weigh up to 2,700 pounds. The impacts are audible across the savanna. Males have been found with fractured skull bones, internal bleeding, knocked unconscious. The winner earns access to every female in the area. The loser walks away, if he can still walk. This one doesn't look dangerous. It's a garden snail. But what happens when two of them meet to mate is something out of a nightmare. Both snails carry a weapon inside their bodies, a sharp, calcified spike called a love dart. Before mating begins, each snail fires this dart directly into the other's body. Not near it, into it, through muscle, through tissue. The dart delivers chemicals that increase the survival of the shooter's reproductive material inside the recipient. It benefits the one pulling the trigger, and it shortens the life of the one getting hit. They both fire, they both get hit, and then they mate anyway. In the garden snail world, every encounter comes at a cost, no matter who you are. They look slow. They're not. Male hippos fight for control of river stretches, because whoever owns the water owns the females living in it. When two males compete, they open their mouths wide, each jaw large enough to fit a small human inside. Their tusks can reach well over a foot in length, pushing close to 20 inches in the largest bulls. And they use them. Both animals drive those teeth into each other's faces, necks, and bodies, until one can't continue. The loser retreats, bleeding heavily, with deep wounds across his entire body. But the fight doesn't end there. When a new male takes over a group, he has been documented killing the existing cubs, not out of rage, out of calculation. Eliminating those cubs removes his rival's genetic investment and brings the females back into reproductive availability much sooner. Cole doesn't begin to describe it. Here's one that starts with light. Male fireflies flash species-specific patterns into the night, each one a unique biological code that only the right female should recognize. When she does, she flashes back. He flies toward her, and that's when certain females spring the trap. Females of the genus Photurus have learned to mimic the response signals of other firefly species. They flash the right pattern. The male comes in expecting a mate. What he finds is a predator. She kills him, eats him, and it's not just hunger. These males carry chemical compounds that are toxic to spiders, frogs, and other predators. By consuming them, the female absorbs that protection into her own body and passes it to her eggs. She doesn't just eat the males, she uses them as a biological upgrade. The light that looked like love was always a lure. One male, potentially dozens of females, all of it decided by combat. Male elephant seals can weigh up to 5,000 pounds, and every year they converge on specific beaches to settle dominance. The male who wins a stretch of shoreline gets mating access to every female on it, sometimes more than 50 in a single season. To get there, they collide, chest to chest, teeth into the neck. The skin of a mature male is thick, wrinkled, and covered in old scars from every previous season. It still isn't enough to stop the bleeding, and the numbers tell the full story. In large colonies, a single dominant male can father roughly 90% of all pups born that season. The rest of the males get nothing. Most of them spend the entire breeding season trying and failing. One animal wins everything, and almost everyone else loses. He gets one chance. One. When a young queen is ready to mate, she flies high into the air, and every eligible drone pursues her. Only the fastest reach her, and the moment one of them does, his body is physically torn apart by the process. Part of his anatomy detaches and remains with the queen. He falls to the ground, dead. The queen keeps flying. The next drone mates with her, dies. The next one after that dies. This continues until she has everything she needs, enough to lay eggs for years. As for the drones that never caught her, they return to the hive. But when winter comes, the worker bees, all female, drive them out. The entrance is blocked. Unable to feed themselves, the drones die outside in the cold. There is no outcome here that ends well for a male. She is available for 8 to 12 hours per year. That's it. Every male in the area knows this, and they all show up at once. What follows is a fight involving animals covered in 30,000 barbed quills. Males jab each other, bite each other, strike with quill-covered tails. The injuries are serious. Then, the survivor approaches the female, and he drenches her in urine from up to 6 feet away, completely soaked. Researchers believe it may influence her receptivity, though exactly how isn't fully understood. If she isn't, she shakes it off, screams at him, and attacks him with her quills. If she is receptive, mating proceeds. But both animals spend the entire encounter carefully avoiding stabbing each other. One wrong move, and the whole thing ends badly for everyone. A new male takes over a pride. The first thing he does is find the cubs. Every one of them belongs to the male he just displaced. He kills them, not all at once, systematically. The females fight back, and sometimes they succeed. Often, they don't, because eliminating those cubs does two things. It removes his rival's genetic legacy entirely, and it brings the females back into reproductive readiness within weeks instead of years. Once mating begins, it happens up to 40 times a day. Each session lasts only seconds. During each one, the male bites the female on the back of the neck, hard enough to cause pain. She turns and claws him. They continue. Neither of them eats or sleeps properly for several consecutive days. The male doesn't stay gentle, and she doesn't stay passive. That's a lion's version of a relationship. In the deep ocean, there is no light, no landmarks, no way to search. Finding a mate down there is nearly impossible. The male anglerfish solved this problem, but the solution is one of the most extreme things in nature. The female can grow to the size of a basketball. The male is roughly the size of your thumb. When he finally finds her, after drifting alone through total darkness, he bites into her body, and then he doesn't let go. His mouth begins to physically fuse with her skin. His eyes degenerate. His organs break down. His body is gradually absorbed into hers, until what remains is barely more than a small reproductive structure attached to her bloodstream. She keeps him alive. He exists solely to fertilize her eggs on demand. A single female can absorb multiple males over her lifetime. The male doesn't lose his freedom. He loses everything. He stops being an individual at all. That pond looks peaceful. It isn't. Male ducks are documented for behavior that biologists classify as forced mating. Groups of males pursuing and overpowering a single female for extended periods. Females sustain serious injuries, lost feathers, lacerations. Some drown. But over millions of years, the female's anatomy has evolved a direct counter-adaptation, a complex internal structure. She controls herself that can physically prevent fertilization from males she hasn't chosen, while allowing it from males she has. Researchers call it a biological arms race. Male anatomy evolved to be more coercive. Female anatomy evolved better defenses. Both sides kept adapting. They're still adapting now. The duck pond is one of the most studied examples of sexual conflict in the animal kingdom, and it has been going on far longer than humans have existed. He approaches carefully, very carefully, because the female praying mantis is a highly skilled ambush predator, and to her, an approaching male looks a lot like a meal. She may attack him before mating begins, during it, immediately after. If she bites off his head, his body keeps going. The nerve centers that control mating are in the lower abdomen, not the brain. A headless mantis can continue for up to an hour. But here's the part that changes everything. In some cases, when the female eats the male, she absorbs enough nutrients to produce significantly more eggs. More eggs. His eggs. In those instances, the male who gets eaten can leave behind more offspring than the male who escapes. He doesn't survive, but in every way that matters to evolution, sometimes he wins. It's a small marsupial, looks harmless, and for most of the year, it is. But when mating season arrives, the brown antechinus does something no other mammal does quite like this. Every male mates continuously for weeks. Individual sessions can last up to 14 hours. They stop eating, stop sleeping, and their bodies begin to destroy themselves. The hormonal surge driving this behavior simultaneously causes the immune system to collapse. Organs begin to fail, fur falls out. Why doesn't the body just stop? It can't. The same hormones that are destroying him are the ones keeping him going. By the end of mating season, every adult male is dead. Not most of them, not the weakest ones, all of them. Every male of this species dies before his first birthday. The females survive, give birth months later, raise the next generation alone, and every single one of their sons will do exactly the same thing, because it's the only strategy that works. This one has figured out something most animals never do. Dying is a better strategy than surviving. The female redback spider is significantly larger than the male and venomous. During mating, the male doesn't just accept the risk of being eaten, he moves toward it. He physically somersaults toward the female's jaws mid-mating, and studies confirm exactly what you'd expect them to confirm. Males who are consumed during mating transfer significantly more reproductive material than males who escape. The mating lasts longer while she feeds. The outcome is better. Males that offer themselves leave more offspring. Males that try to survive leave fewer. So the ones that move toward the jaws have, over generations, passed on that behavior more successfully than the ones that didn't. It is not a sacrifice. From a genetic standpoint, it's the winning move. Everything you think you know about how mating works doesn't apply here. In seahorses, the male gets pregnant. The female deposits her eggs directly into a pouch on his abdomen. He fertilizes them, nourishes them, carries them to term, and delivers them, sometimes hundreds of live young in a single birth. In many species, the female deposits a new batch of eggs into his pouch within hours of him giving birth. Hours. No recovery, no rest. The male spends essentially his entire reproductive season pregnant, and because the biological cost falls on him, not her, the dynamic flips completely. Females compete for males. They fight each other for access to the best ones. In a world where females are usually the ones being pursued, the seahorse inverted the entire system. The males get pregnant, the females compete, and somewhere out there, a male seahorse is on his third pregnancy this week. Scientists gave this a name. They call it traumatic insemination. The name is accurate. Male bedbugs do not mate through any natural reproductive opening. They use a sharp, needle-like structure to pierce directly through the female's hard outer shell, into her body cavity, every single time. The female's anatomy has partially adapted, a specialized internal structure that absorbs some of the damage, but she is still measurably harmed with every encounter. Females that mate repeatedly live shorter lives than those that don't. And males are not selective. They will attempt to mate with other males. With any similarly sized object in their environment, other males are injured, sometimes killed, in the process. There is no cooperation here, no signal, no choice, just damage. 10 feet long, 150 pounds, serrated teeth, powerful claws, a bite that causes catastrophic infection, and two of them want the same female. Male Komodo dragons fight with the same force they use to take down large prey animals. They rear up on their hind legs, grapple, and bite. Both of them leave the fight with injuries. The winner then approaches the female, who may reject him entirely, and if she does, she fights back. She claws, she bites, she uses everything she has. He has to physically overpower her to mate. But here's what makes the species genuinely extraordinary. Females don't actually need males to reproduce. Through a process called parthenogenesis, a female in isolation, with no male present, can produce eggs that develop entirely without fertilization. All of the offspring will be male. This means a single female, stranded alone, can start an entirely new population. In a species this aggressive, the female always had a backup plan. In almost every species, males dominate. Not here. In spotted hyena society, females outrank every male, without exception. The lowest ranking female is above the highest ranking male. Females are larger, more aggressive, and physically more powerful. This dominance begins before birth. Elevated hormone exposure in the womb drives both the aggression and an unusual anatomical development that makes female and male hyenas nearly indistinguishable from the outside. That same anatomy creates a severe problem during birth. The birth canal is narrow, elongated, and structurally unsuited for delivery. First-time mothers face significant risk. Mortality rates for both the mother and the cubs are high. For males, none of this changes their position. They remain completely subordinate. A female who rejects a male will chase him, bite him, and injure him. Males must spend weeks building proximity and trust before a female will even consider allowing mating. And even then, it's entirely her decision. Both of them know this is the end. Most octopus species mate once, then they die. The male approaches carefully, because the female is a capable predator and may attack him before he gets close enough. In some species, he uses a specialized arm to deliver his reproductive material, and in some of those species, that arm detaches from his body entirely. It moves toward her on its own. He retreats. After mating, the female finds her eggs, sometimes hundreds of thousands of them, and stops everything else. She stops hunting, stops eating. She spends every remaining hour of her life circulating water over those eggs, cleaning them, defending them from anything that comes close. In some deep-sea species, females have been documented guarding their eggs for more than 4 years. By the time the eggs hatch, she is emaciated. She dies shortly after. The male began deteriorating the moment mating ended. Neither of them survives. Neither of them was supposed to. They weren't built to last. They were built to produce one generation and give everything to it. Neither one wants to be the mother. Flatworms are simultaneous hermaphrodites. Every individual carries both reproductive systems, but producing eggs costs significantly more energy than providing the other contribution. So when two flatworms meet to mate, they fight. Researchers call it penis fencing. Each animal attempts to pierce the other's skin with its male reproductive structure and deposit material before being penetrated itself. The contest can last close to an hour. Both animals dodge, maneuver, and strike. The one who lands the hit walks away with the easier role. The one who gets pierced becomes the mother. Parenthood in this species is not a choice. It's what happens to the loser. Hundreds of species, thousands of strategies. One consistent problem? The female is bigger, she's faster, and she's a predator. An approaching male looks like prey, so different species develop different solutions. Some males bring a wrapped insect to the female as a gift and mate while she's distracted by the meal. Some briefly wrap the female in silk while she's passive, buying just enough time to proceed before she recovers. Some vibrate the web in specific patterns, a signal that says, "I am not food." And then there are the orb weavers. The male somersaults directly into the female's jaws at the moment of mating. He makes himself the meal. In certain orb weaver species, research shows these males are consumed more than 60% of the time, but they father significantly more offspring than males who escape because the extended contact time dramatically increases reproductive success. He doesn't survive. But across hundreds of generations, more of his descendants are alive than the descendants of males who ran. The one who gave everything left the most behind. In the natural world, there is no such thing as a fair fight. No rules, no limits. For most species, reproduction is the only objective that exists, and these animals pursue it at any cost. injury, death, complete biological dissolution. If you made it this far, you already see the natural world a little differently. Let me know in the comments which one hit hardest, and subscribe and like the video